Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is going to be another Gold Cup recap video, and we're going to be talking about the last 4 games that went down, the last 2 match days. These are involving teams from groups B and C. I'll try to put the timestamps down below if you guys just want to skip to the game that you care about. Before I get into this, I want to say, number 1, I will be going live literally later today, very, very late today for me, for Mexico versus Suriname, and then I will be doing a series of other live watch-alongs for a bunch of these games for the remainder of the Gold Cup. I was supposed to do Canada versus Honduras. I apologize if you guys can't tell. I'm still sick. The Argentine flu got me, and it got me good. So I'm hanging on by a thread here, but I'm still watching the games. I'm still making these videos for y'all. So if you guys could smash the like button, that would be much appreciated. Also, these Gold Cup recap videos will be happening the rest of the tournament. I'll do a group stage review. I'll do a knockout prediction. I'll do all that stuff. So you guys have a lot to look forward to. Make sure you're subscribed. The first game that we have to talk about is Guatemala 1, Jamaica 0. And firstly, before I say anything, massive congratulations to Guatemala. Congratulations to the fans. This was a big freaking deal. Like, when the groups came out and I was doing my group stage prediction, I like Guatemala. They have a good team. But this group, Group B, with Panama, Jamaica, and Guadeloupe, was always going to be difficult. And the only path for Guatemala to make it out was to get points against either Panama or Jamaica. They had to steal points from somebody. Well, not only did they steal points, they took a dub, y'all. They beat Jamaica. And I'm going to say this now. First fun fact of the video. This is Guatemala's first ever win against Jamaica away from home. They have never beaten Jamaica before this game outside of the borders of the beautiful country that is Guatemala. Never. This is a huge freaking deal. And now they control their own destiny. And if they go out and get a win against Guadeloupe, I don't even think it'll matter too much what happens against Panama. Just don't get embarrassed. And please, God, Guatemala, do not overlook Guadeloupe. Because if you overlook Guadeloupe, they're going to score 3 goals on you, okay? Just take the game seriously, and you guys will advance to the knockouts. And Guatemala right now, they look like a scary knockout opponent. For Jamaica, I think this game was a massive humbling. And again, I think you have to give credit to Guatemala for that. Because the Guatemalan midfield gave Jamaica absolutely nothing. And y'all, like, genuinely, there was a full 90 minutes played, and what was the best chance that Jamaica had? Like, we're not even talking about, oh, Nicholas Hagen had a masterclass. Like, he had 9 saves in this game. Like, wow, Guatemala really held on there. Oh, no. They were by far the better team. I mean, I would say Jamaica's best goal-scoring opportunity was probably Ethan Pinnock's header in extra time in the 93rd minute or whatever it was. I mean, they were completely neutralized. And we can clown Jamaica as much as we want for being frauds and for grossly underperforming and kind of embarrassing themselves at every opportunity that they have. But still, to not even give up a good opportunity in 90 minutes, I mean, that's hard for Canada to do. That's hard for the United States to do. That's hard for Mexico to do, let alone Guatemala. And that's exactly what they did. Now, the goal for Guatemala comes in the first half through Oscar Santis, but I really think it's the filthy backheel assist from Darwin Lom that's going to steal the headlines here. And it's a great goal. And Guatemala had a couple really good opportunities. I mean, Andre Blake is the busier goalkeeper in this game. It's just, what a performance from Guatemala. Oscar Santis, man, 26 years old, so not really a young player anymore, but he spent last year in Europe, had the hat trick against Dominican Republic last week in their comeback victory. I mean, this dude looks like the real deal, and if he can keep scoring goals, if he can stay active, should have had an assist too, then Guatemala, like I said, man, just a really, really scary opponent to see in the knockouts. I don't know if anybody wants. I know it's just one game, but like, still. I'll end on Jamaica here. I don't think it was embarrassing that you lost to Guatemala. I think it was embarrassing how you played. And I think for the manager, Steve McLaren specifically, I think he got punked here. I think he got bamboozled because these two teams played each other a week ago and Jamaica won 3-0, albeit it was in Jamaica. But Steve McLaren, perhaps foolishly, perhaps out of naivete, perhaps he was just banking on the pure talent of his players, he plays almost the same 11. There's a couple changes, but it's almost the same 11. Versus Luis Dena plays an entirely different team in that qualifier versus this one. And I refuse to believe that was not strategic. I refuse to believe that was not done on purpose. And I feel like Guatemala looked at this game and said, we're putting our eggs in this basket. I'm not going to show my cards until the Gold Cup. So, yeah, I'm going to put out the B team. Mendes Lang starts, but, the guy's getting old now. Still an icon for the team, but, you get what I'm trying to say. Like, they took this game much more seriously than the World Cup qualifier, whereas Jamaica, it seems like it was the opposite. And I don't think they were prepared for how good Guatemala was going to be. And now it looks like Jamaica are in serious threat of getting grouped. And my God, the reaction video to that's going to go crazy. Let's move on to Panama 5, Guadeloupe 2. This was a pretty fun game. A weird game. And a weird game in the sense that defensively, I thought both teams were quite bad. And I think a big part of that was the heat. I really don't want to be like a Greg Berhalter or somebody like blaming the grass length or how hot it was outside. But I really feel like both sides were completely fatigued by the end of the game. And it was kind of making it sloppy, very direct. There was hella shots in this match. It was super fun to watch. I just don't know how many big takeaways we can have from either side. I'll start with Guadeloupe. I mean, defensively, shambolic. But offensively, quite good. I mean, these guys have some serious shooters in the national team, and shoot they did, because Mosquera, the Panamanian goalkeeper, made more saves than the Guadeloupe goalkeeper, which that's an interesting stat. They didn't have more shots on target, but damn near. And so Guadeloupe kind of looked like one of these teams where they're here for a good time, not a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to entertain us, and for that I say thank you. But are they going to make the knockouts? I can't see them making the knockouts because I can't see them keeping a clean sheet. And I mean, God help Guatemala or Jamaica, especially if they can't score on Guadeloupe after Panama puts 5 past them. And Panama probably should have had 6 or 7. So they look like a, just wrecking crew, like almost a berserker type team where, yeah, they're going to get 1 or 2 goals per game and probably concede 2 or 3. And that's going to be that, and they're going to get grouped. That's kind of what it looked like for Guadeloupe. But I did think that they caused Panama several problems. Panama, on the flip side, they're up 4-0 after 25 minutes, which sounds like a Panamanian masterclass. And they were playing well, but I would say outside of the first goal, which Jorge Gutierrez sets up to Christian Martinez, it's very good happy feet from Gutierrez in the box. And I watched a lot of Panama, and I did not know who this guy was, so shout out to him. Great debut. I don't even know if it's a debut. Great debut for me, for Jack from DeadBall TV. That was a good goal. And the other ones, Murillo gets a assist to Ismael Diaz, who had 2 goals in the opening 25. Good to see him back in the Panama squad. I've always liked him, and I've never understood why the hell this guy is such a seldom used rotation piece for Panama. I don't get it. Maybe he's missing something that Christensen just doesn't like, but I mean, he caused havoc last Gold Cup. Now he's back with a brace in the first game, so Golden Boot, I guess, nominee would be Ismael Diaz from Panama. But anyways, Panama weren't bad. It was just, they were good. I'm sounding very negative. They were good. It just, the Guadeloupe mistakes were awful, and they were up 4-0 after 25. And I feel like Panama probably took their foot off the gas there because it was so freaking hot. But defensively, Panama made mistakes. I thought Andres Andrade was playing in the back 3 with Harvey and Escobar. They made several bad errors, bad back passes, sloppy touches, getting beat one-on-one. I think Andrade gets absolutely cooked for, I don't remember if it was a Guadeloupe goal or just a shot on target that Mosquera saves. I think he saves it far corner really well. Just not good from Panama's defense. And to top it all off, Jose Cordoba comes in as a substitute as a center back. That's how you know it was hot. And my brother immediately concedes a penalty. I'm just like, dude, how you play for Norwich City? With all due respect to the other Panamanian center backs, you should be one of the first names on the team sheet. And instead, you're a freaking liability for your team. I mean, I'll never forget the worst handball I've ever seen in the Nations League final against Mexico. That wasn't that long ago. Now my guy is back again. First thing he does when he subs in is concede another penalty. It's like, I like Cordoba. I want him to be successful, but Lord, bro, like, be smarter. I don't even know what else am I supposed to tell you. Just stop fouling. Stop sticking your hand up. You're not playing volleyball, dude. Like, crazy. So I think for Panama, they walk away saying, hey, we scored 5 goals. Should have had more, and the offense looks good. Our depth looks good. There are positives here. For Guadeloupe, they're probably thinking, hey, we could score against anybody. But both sides will need to be a little bit better, and I don't think we need to take hard takeaways from this game because of when it was played and how freaking hot it was and how dead both sides looked, honestly, after like 45 minutes. Now, speaking of dead, El Salvador 0, Curacao 0, and wow, this was easily the worst game of the Gold Cup, the only 0-0 of the Gold Cup so far, and not a game I would recommend you guys watch back on your DVR. I think we just skip this one. You don't even need to watch the highlight video because honestly, there aren't any highlights. I thought it was way too start and stop, zero flow. There's probably 40 minutes of actual footy played. Thought the ref was terrible. She did not control the game well at all. Here are some stats to just represent how bad this was. So both teams had 6 shots, 12 shots total in this game. That is the lowest shot total of any game at the Gold Cup by far. 4 shots between the two teams were on target. That is also the lowest of any game at the Gold Cup so far. 0.98 combined XG. Can you guess? That's right. It's also the lowest of any game at the Gold Cup so far, and by quite some distance. 40 fouls in this game, which is also the most of any game in the Gold Cup. So this was just 2 groups of men kicking each other. There was very little actual footy played. Now, performance-wise, I thought Curacao were better. El Salvador were a bit of a pleasant surprise, I would say, in the first 45 minutes, but they just literally stopped trying in the second half. Not trying to defend, but they just had no interest in going forward, and I feel like they really tried to embrace the underdog mentality, which I would have thought this was actually a fair fight. I don't know if there was an underdog here, and I feel like a draw doesn't serve either team. Like, somebody needed to win this game, and I feel like the only reason this is not a huge L for both is because of what Honduras did, which I'll talk about that game next. There were what I would call 2 good chances for Curacao in this game, 2 good saves from the Salvadoran keeper. Outside of that, though, they didn't really create much, and I feel like it's because the game was just simply too chaotic. Now, Curacao were a very popular dark horse pick for a lot of people coming into this tournament, and after this game, you guys let me know in the comments, do you feel better or worse if you picked Curacao? I mean, I picked Haiti, so, I mean, I can't really speak. We'll see what they do in match day 2, but I'm going to say you're probably feeling better, and again, that's because of what Honduras did, because Honduras get mollywopped by Canada, and you have to say Curacao were the better team here, although the word better is honestly flattering, considering the performance Curacao had. But I feel like you'll be feeling okay now, and I think the battle for second was always 50-50 between Honduras and Curacao. I don't really think El Salvador can do it, and I think so kind of even less now after this game, not because they're bad, but because I don't see where the goals come from, man. I mean, I think they're just as likely to get 3 draws as they are a win. And are they going to keep a clean sheet against Canada? No, I kind of think that's an L. So it's going to come down to the Honduras game, and they have a chance there. They have a chance there. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. They could definitely do something against Honduras, but I just saw nothing going forward. I mean, they basically have to rely on long balls over top to Gil, and that's it. Like, if I had to guess right now how many goals El Salvador finished the group stage with, I'm going to say 1. I think they can get 1 over the next 2 games against Canada and Honduras, nothing more, or I will be stunned. So I guess for me right now, it is advantage Curacao to finish in second. We'll move on to the final game here. Canada 6, Honduras 0. Wow. I thought Canada were going to win by a lot, but I didn't think it was going to be 6. This is an all-time ass-whooping by Canada, and I think it's an all-time embarrassment from Honduras. Like, I get it, you're the underdog, but you're still one of the better teams in CONCACAF. You cannot be getting humiliated in this fashion, and they were humiliated. Like, there's very, very few bright spots to talk about from this Honduras performance. I guess they started okay in the sense that Canada don't score until, minute 25? And they have 1 good chance in the second half. Outside of that, I don't really know what we're saying in the Honduran media today about this is exactly why we're going to make it out of the group. I don't know, because this back line and this midfield looks absolutely done. Canada created 9 big chances in this match. That is absolutely insane. 9 big chances. Most of the time, if you create 2 or 3, you win the game. So creating 9, I guess you tend to get a 6-0 scoreline if that's what happens. I thought it was a pretty decent day in the office for everybody, which tends to happen when you win 6-0. Brace for Tajon Buchanan, who looks like he's just been reawakened since the Ukraine friendly. I've been watching Solo Leveling. I think that's what they call it in Solo Leveling. You reawaken. That's pretty much what Tajon Buchanan has done. And I think Jesse Marshall with a couple young players here. Nico Sigur, Nathan Saliba, and Luc de Fougerolles. I definitely butchered that, but it's a tough name, so y'all give me some grace there. And I thought all of them were pretty good, especially Saliba. I was really impressed with him, but Nico Sigur gets his first ever goal for the Canadian national team. Promise David comes on as a sub and scores. Ali Ahmed was great. I don't know. Chouanier was pretty good as well. Dane St. Clair gets called upon one time and makes a banging save. Like, everybody did something good. And everybody had a stock up, I think. I think anytime the opposition has a stock up for, like, all of their players, you probably didn't have a good game. And Honduras did not. For Canada and for Canadians, look, the objective is to win the Gold Cup. That's what it is. And the most likely scenario is a crash course with either Mexico or Panama in the final. And I know it's just one game, but when you play this well, it's kind of hard to not buy in a little bit more. You have to be feeling like, okay, of all the favorites, let's look at all the favorites and let's talk about how they did in their first game. Canada, for me, are the best. Panama have a couple defensive question marks, and Mexico kind of got outplayed for parts of the game by the Dominican Republic, and the U.S. played Trinidad and Tobago, and I just feel like we can't really learn anything from that. So I think you have to say Canada look like the #1 favorite following this match. Now for Honduras, I'll wrap up with these guys. I genuinely don't know what happened to them. Like, it was a 1 out of 10 performance. Luis Palma did absolutely nothing. Like, what happened to this team? Where are the center backs that played against Mexico and beat them twice in 2 consecutive Nations Leagues? Where are those guys? Why is Maldonado on the bench? Who are these scrubs out there? Mengilvar was freaking terrible. Like, everybody was terrible, I would say. I don't know a single Honduran who had a good game. And how is this happening? I think everybody in the Honduran FA has to be looking at Rueda and being like, bro, if you get grouped, which looks pretty likely now, we have to part ways with you. We can't be losing 6-0. Guys, can you imagine if El Salvador beat them now? Rueda has to be gone. Honduras is not what they used to be in 2014 or whatever, but they're not this bad. They're not. Are they this much worse than Guatemala? I feel like most people would have said they're an even national teams in terms of strength, if not Honduras a little bit better just for the star power. Well, Guatemala just put the beat down on Jamaica as the underdogs, and Honduras as the underdog, you'd eat 6 and create 2 chances in the whole game? It's scary hours for Honduras. I don't know what's going to happen going forward, but really trash performance from them. And yeah, guys, I'm going to end the video there. Like I said, reminder, I'll be going live for Mexico versus Suriname tonight, and then a couple other games for the Gold Cup group stage. You guys just follow us on Twitter to stay up to date on which games we decide to do. Hopefully I'm feeling better and I can start doing these on a nightly basis, but it kind of depends. Also, I'm in Argentina, so all the games start at like midnight, which is really tough considering that I have work in the morning. But we do what we can here on the channel. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button. Again, more Gold Cup recaps on the way. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.